Okay. Hello. So my teammates and I decided to research the brand Apple. Here we go. So the product, Apple's main product, its most renowned product line is the iPhone. And when it was first launched in 2007, people were stoked about it. It became a great hit. People were going crazy about the iPhone. Why? Because it was the first ever touchscreen based smartphone. Okay, so Apple's audience. Apple's target audience consists of middle and upper class families as well as working professionals. And by working professionals, we mean artists, um, graphic designers, product designers, DJs, music producers, video editors, photographer, etc. Basically, all sorts of people who have sufficient financial income to afford Apple devices. Even though Apple products might be overpriced, people still buy them for their unique appearance and one of a kind UX design. So, Steve Jobs believed that user experience is much more important than appearance. User experience sells more than appearance. So, he put a lot of effort and thought into improving the UX design of his devices. Okay, so here we've listed five of Apple's main characteristics. We have simple yet functional design. Basically, all of Apple's devices are very easy, straightforward to use, and they're very functional. They let you do whatever you want to do in a very efficient way. They their designs are sleek. So we have curved edges, we have smooth lines, we have discreetly integrated logo into the back of the phone. Okay, so Apple offers a wide variety of features, both hardware and software features. When it comes to hardware, as you can see from the image here, we have the triple camera, the wide camera, the telephoto camera, the ultra wide camera. We have the little mute button, which is right above the volume buttons, which is only found on Apple devices, on iPhones in particular. And we also had, not anymore, the home button, which had a built-in fingerprint scanner. Okay, when it comes to software features, all Apple devices come with the iOS operating system, which is regularly updated so that users can enjoy its latest features. Then we have worldwide support. By this we mean that Apple has stores, it has retail stores all around the world. And if you want to purchase an Apple device, or if you have a problem with your Apple device, or if you're seeking advice, you can go to one of their stores and they would offer you support there. And last but not least, Apple has a high reputation. So there's a lot of people who are like Apple fans and they own almost all of Apple's products and they will recommend the brand to their friends, to their family, to their colleagues. In this way, they build up the brand's reputation. So then we have the Apple product line. We've listed most of Apple's products, not all of them, just let's say the most important ones and the latest models from each product line. Okay, so we have the iPhone 12 Pro. It comes together with the iPhone 12 mini, which is cheaper. It's for people who cannot afford the iPhone 12 Pro, and the iPhone 12 Pro Max, which is for people who like bigger phones with a longer lasting battery and that sort of thing. We have the iPod Touch, which is the descendant or the upgraded version of the original iPod. It's mostly used for listening to music, for watching videos and movies, and for playing video games. Then we have the Apple Watch Series 6. This is Apple's latest smartwatch. We have the Apple TV. We have the Apple AirPods Pro. Uh, I mean, despite the fact that Apple AirPods Pro are Apple's latest AirPods, a lot of people still prefer the original AirPods because I mean they're fashionable. They're in a way more simple than these ones, and a lot of companies have tried to copy Apple's AirPods. Okay, so and then last but not least, we have the iPhone SE, which is an iPhone that's more accessible to the public. It's for people who want to own an Apple device but don't have sufficient financial resources to purchase their high-end models like the iPhone 12 Pro. Okay, so then we have the computer side. We have the MacBook Pro 2020 that was launched earlier. That was launched like a couple of weeks ago. We have the iPad Pro 12.9 inch as well as the iPad Pro 11 inch, which is mostly used by artists, by graphic designers, by product designers. The Apple Pencil, which you purchase separately, allows you to draw on the display, and then the Smart Keyboard turns the iPad Pro into a compact version of a MacBook, basically. Then we have the iMac Pro, which is made for professionals. It can be used for 3D rendering, it can be used for video and photo editing, and those sorts of things. It's a little more expensive, so I mean, a lot of people own an iMac or an iMac Pro, but they're more willing to buy a MacBook instead of an iMac. It comes with the iMac Pro comes with the Magic Keyboard and Magic Mouse too. Okay, so now let's talk about the products that we didn't include. Those are the MacBook Air, which is as popular and as, I mean, enjoyable to use as the MacBook Pro. We have the iPad Air, which was released, like whose latest version was also released this year. We have the iMac, of course, and we have the Mac Pro, which is a desktop computer strictly reserved for professional use and for people with lots of money, because that's Apple's most expensive product so far. Okay, and not even upper class people would go for it. So then we have principles, values, and image. Apple's values include perfection, user satisfaction, simplicity, and modern design. As we talked earlier, uh, Apple's designs are seamless. So they're quintessential, basically. Then we have user satisfaction. This is the experience we get out of using an Apple device. Simplicity, even a person with very little knowledge on technology can grab an iPhone and start using it straight away because it's so intuitive and straight to the point. And then last but not least, we have modern design. Okay, so Apple's main focus is the user experience, not so much the devices. Steve Jobs realized that from the very start, so he focused all of his thoughts and work into improving the user experience in every way possible. Because if a device is easy to use and if it brings you joy, if using a device brings you joy and satisfaction, then that means you're more likely to purchase it again or to recommend it to a friend or to buy another device by the same brand. Okay, so Apple is viewed as a luxurious yet somewhat affordable brand that offers top of the line quality. By this, what we mean is there's one iPhone, like one brand that produces iPhone, and there's, I don't know, let's say like 10 or more brands that produce Android phones. So Android uh, and Apple are the two main competitors in the tech industry. And if you own an Apple device, if you own an iPhone, everybody knows that you're a fan of Apple, that you are looking for good quality, that you have enough money to afford it. So basically, if you own an Apple device, you stand out in a way. They offer a dynamic, responsive technology in combination with beautiful visual and industrial design, both of which work together to produce a truly rewarding experience. So it's not so much about the content, it's not so much about the interface of the device or the apps that it comes with, it's more about the visual and industrial design. So when you walk into the Apple store and you look at all those iPhones, you immediately think, wow, they look so beautiful. I want to go, I want to touch them. Basically, they grab your attention straight away and you want to start using them from the moment you see them. And then the dynamic responsive technology, it's not there for the sake of technology. It's there because it produces a truly rewarding experience. Because when your phone or your tablet is responsive, it's fast, it doesn't take lots of time to load, you enjoy the experience even more. Okay, so reiteration. What Apple did with the iPhone 12 Pro is they went back a few steps. So by doing a step forward, they went a leap backwards. They made a leap backwards because the design of the iPhone 12 copies the iPhone 5s, because Apple realized that with the iPhone 11 Pro they were reaching the edge of exhaustion. And all capitalist companies nowadays, they flirt with that edge of exhaustion, but the thing is they never go over the edge, and Apple also doesn't want to go over the edge, so they went back, they copied the design of the iPhone 5s, and people still consider it new. People still consider the iPhone 12 like a revolutionary model, let's say, because it's different from the iPhone 6, the iPhone 7, the iPhone 8, the iPhone 10, the iPhone 11 Pro in terms of design. Okay, so then we have ad campaigns. So these are two, of course, Apple has more than two ad campaigns, but these are two of Apple's most successful, most prominent ad campaigns. We have the iPod ad campaign and the first iPhone ad campaign. So the iPod campaign included bright colors, like for example in this image we have bright green, bright blue, yellow, and pink, and dark silhouettes of people. For example, here we have a gorilla, but it's like a man in a costume or a kid. And I mean, the figures are detailed, but not so much. And the thing in focus is the product, the iPod. You can see every little detail of the iPod. And even though the figures are black and not very recognizable, people can relate to that and they can recognize themselves in one of those black figures. For example, the other campaign, the Hello commercial, features scenes from all kinds of movies where actors pick up the phone and say hello. So this is symbolic because in a way, uh, Apple is trying to get the world ready for their revolutionary invention, for the iPhone. They wanted to be they wanted to have they wanted it to have a warm welcome. So, analysis. Basically, what Apple does is it works with big Hollywood stars who, in a way, give their stamp of approval. They influence people to buy Apple because they're giving their stamp of approval. They're saying, "Look, Apple is a good brand that I like, that I would buy, so you should too." Okay, so then we have another very important thing is that Apple uses ads to manipulate people. They realized that Siri wasn't used enough by the users, by the Apple customers. So what they did is they made Siri the main character of their commercials, and by this they wanted to build up awareness of the voice assistant. They wanted to showcase Apple devices' full capabilities, and they also wanted to get more feedback from users so that they can improve the voice assistant. Another thing that's worth mentioning is that Apple ads have an quintessential audiovisual design. They're straightforward, so they get to the point, and they're impressive when it comes to post-production. They have all these kinds of effects, so they keep the viewer entertained while getting straight to the point and telling them and communicating to them what they want to communicate. So a thing that's worth noting is that before, on the website, when you wanted to learn more about a specific product, for example, in this case, that's the iPhone, they would include like a paragraph of text, but now it's mostly images. It's mostly animations when you scroll down, images, and these very little yet informative paragraphs of text, because postmodern society is not about text anymore because it finds reading boring. The best way of communicating is through images, through visual references. Okay, so here we have a little bit about the personal computer. So the personal computer marked an end to the totalitarian era, and one of the first companies to make that computer was Apple. It introduced the Apple I and Apple II, and millions of copies were sold because to own a computer meant that, like, because if you own a computer, that meant you were free. It meant that you could make choices for yourself, that you could express yourself in your own way. We have the communication process. Our jobs involve constant communication, and Apple devices, as well as other devices, make that communication possible. You communicate through your devices, and that's why work and life are so interconnected nowadays, because we do all our work on our devices, and we use those devices all the time. And we also do leisure activities on our devices. Like, for example, we watch movies on them, we listen to music on them, but at the same time we work. So essentially, electronic devices eliminate the distinctions between work and life. They merge the two things together, and we don't differentiate between the two anymore. Here are the sources, and thank you for your attention.